Guys, I promise I'm gonna stop jump scaring you with changes in the videos, okay? First, we switched the background, and now, well, nothing has really changed. I didn't get a new camera. This is how my videos always looked. I may have spiked your drink with a little bit of LSD, so you're seeing things a little differently right now, but it'll wear off in a bit. Everything else is completely the same as it's always been. Guys! Faze clan. What rhymes with Faze? Faze, maze, gaze, raise, blaze? Faze will erase their haters this season because god damn it, do they look good, man. Sorry, guys. Quick camera angle change. I feel like this one is way better, eh? But anyways, it honestly kind of looked like Faze were on the brink of collapsing for a while there. They potentially have the worst year in their organization's history. They start the year by getting beaten by eyeballers at Blast Bounty Winter 2026, which is a classic move after making the final of the major right before that. Stink shit at Krakow, stink shit at Cluj, stink shit at ESL Pro League, stink shit at Blast Open Spring. And so after stinking shit the entire year, it looks like they're gonna miss the first major of 2026. So they get desperate. They go to Draculan Season 6, a B-tier tournament. Some teams in attendance are Alliance, Aim Club, Inner Circle, Mouse NXT, 2026 Eternal Fire. I'm gonna leave out some of the better teams like Aurora. That's actually pretty much it. I almost said Passion UA Liquid Fnatic. What the fuck am I thinking? And M80's pretty decent as well. But yeah, here at this tournament, they also stunk shit and got knocked out by Fnatic. 2026 Fnatic.
How?
This then looks like they're gonna miss the major. And then these little rats, they sneak into a tier 24 million tournament in Russia. Still get fucked. Then still miss the major. Kerrigan leaves. Oh my god. It's over for Faze. What are they gonna do? The heart and soul right beside Rain of this team for years at this point is gone. They have no identity. Then this is when the fellas begin to cook. You see, there was a little bit of a weird period between Kerrigan leaving and the Cologne Major because they were just playing games just to play games to keep their VRS points, I think. But after the Cologne Major, when they were actually able to make moves, they made a pretty fire one. Twist had already been calling for a while before this. You know, the past couple tournaments ever since Kerrigan left, they still, of course, have Frozen, who is one of the best riflers in the entire world. They have Jacob, who, I refrain to speak on Jacob. I'm just too scared of the Polish fans. I don't know what they're gonna do. Leave a mean comment, maybe. They had been using Netanyahu as a stand-in, who they officially have signed now, I think. I actually know he's still being loaned to the team. Netanyahu being loaned to the team as well as Jay Boner being loaned to the team for the remainder of the year from Big Academy. And well, these two stand-ins, I guess, they've looked pretty good on Faze, okay? I don't know if they've saved Faze. It's still very early to tell. And I mean, the only reference point we have is one of the most scuffed tournaments we've had in years, which is also like a tier 1.5, tier 2 tournament in XSE Pro League. But early signs are looking up. Follically challenged Garmour speaking. Guys, if you would like to support me in the stuff I do here, check out the new long-term sponsor of the Garmour YouTube channel, SkinSwap. SkinSwap is the #1 place to trade your Rust or Counter-Strike skins for new ones where you can instantly upgrade your inventory. And if you use my code Garmour, you can get up to $50 on a free skin and a 3% lifetime selling bonus. And now you can also easily buy skins off the Chinese marketplace for cheaper prices than you ever could on the Western marketplaces. I truly think this is the best feature on any skin trading website, but if you are looking to sell, you can sell your skins for crypto, PayPal, Venmo, and a bunch of other withdrawal methods. Along with this, SkinSwap has a vault system now, which makes it the most rewarding skin trading website. And of course, don't forget the giveaways. And I think that's it. Thank you to them, thank you to you guys, and back to the video. I'm currently recording this after they blew Bet Boom the fuck out. It wasn't even close. Faze took him to the back alley and gave him a good old knuckle sandwich. 13-2 on Cash and 13-6 on Ancient. Now we'll get into Cash a little bit later because it looks like these fellas are fucking cracked on Cash, by the way. But I just want to say, even if they don't beat Paravision, which you're obviously going to know the result result of this tournament by the time it gets posted. I really think they could win the entire thing with how they look at this point. They're probably favored at this point to win the entire thing. No, actually, I'm kind of surprised. 9Z is still the favorite with a 35% chance, and Faze only has a 27, so, you know, I would have put them as favorite, but I might be a little biased. And you might be wondering yourself, what the baloney? Garmour, you hate Faze. You're Faze's biggest hater. And, well, I was. Here's the deal, right? I might be a chud in many different aspects. I think that is true. But the one thing that I think I have hit the nail on the head with is stuff having to do with Faze, right? I thought that making the finals of Budapest was the worst possible thing that could have happened to them because we got an entire season of blah. And while I do think that take was still good because the roster stayed alive for way longer than it should have, that also then gave us Kerrigan to Falcons, giving Nico his first major. And well, this current Faze rebuild that we see now, so maybe it wasn't really all that bad. It just kind of delayed it, I guess. But another thing, if you go back and look at the Faze video, was I said Faze should do 3 things. Make Twist the main entry / opener, sign an actual anchor support player, a pure anchor hard lurk support player, and sign a young, unproven AWPer with a very high ceiling. I think what you have to do is kind of similar to what Furia did. You have to take a shot on a guy in tier 2 and pray that he works out and is generational. So then we just make Twist a pure entry maybe. And so then for this team, we need to find a pure anchor support player. And they did all 3 of those things, right? Twist becoming the IGL is something that I did bring up. I didn't necessarily want it to happen more than them keeping Kerrigan. Listen, okay, it happened. But because of that happening, Twist has also taken a lot of Kerrigan's roles of being the first one in. But the difference between Twist and Kerrigan entering a bomb site is pretty fucking drastic. No disrespect to Kerrigan. He was great at taking space, but he would often take space to just die and then get traded. Whereas we now have Twist taking space on Faze, and he is putting up great numbers while still calling. Second of all, they kept Netanyahu, which I like. I would have rather them sign Jimmy. I have said that before, but I don't think Netanyahu is a bad prospect at all. He's gonna get more hate than he should just because he is an anchor hard support lurker. So he's not going to put up numbers like a lot of these other players will. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's just how it goes. There's only so many kills to go around. And I mean, when you are hard anchoring on a bomb site, they either come to you and you pray to God you get 2, or you're retaking, right? And then other than that, he is just sitting on the entire other side of the map, holding for pushes. And if they don't push, you can only do so much, right? But I do think so far, I have seen flashes when he actually is involved with the team. He seems to handle situations and even clutches pretty well. For the most part, I've liked what I've seen, and he is a young prospect with a decently high ceiling, in my opinion. And lastly, they finally benched Brokey and brought in a young upping prospect in Jay Boner. Originally, I wanted Klim, but dare I say, it's too soon to exactly tell because Klim also farms tier 2. And I do want to see Jay Boner play tier 1 before I glaze him too hard, but I mean, Jay Boner gotta be up there with all of the young upping prospects in the world right now. He might be on the same level as Klim or even a little better, but yeah, like I said, we still have to see. But so far, the eye test for this dude is fucking phenomenal. Easily an upgrade over Brokey, and his ceiling looks incredibly high. And along with that, he's been fairly consistent. He is currently the 3rd highest rated player at this entire event at the time of me recording this. It of course can change, but he currently has a 1.33 rating, right behind Frozen with a 1.36. And look at this dude's fucking stats so far. Despite the first 2 games where Faze got blown out, which I'd probably put on the tournament being a shit show. There's no way they were able to focus during these games. I know both teams were in the same environment, but those first 2 games I really don't care about. Even with those, he has had 1 map this entire tournament so far where he has had a negative rating, and that negative rating was in a game where he went 31-26, and it was a 0.99. Fucking barely negative, man. He has been great. The ceiling has been there, and he's even had an incredibly solid floor while being that good. So forgive me, Faze haters, if I show him a little bit of love, because they quite literally did every single thing that I asked them to do to a T, damn near. And how can I not be happy for a team when they're doing that? Now, we can calm down for a little bit, right? You probably are rolling your eyes saying it's just a tier 2 tournament. But I mean, guys, we gotta, like, at some point, you gotta take what you can get. Because Faze, prior to this, missed the major because they couldn't compete in tier 2 tournaments. So Faze looking this good and this dominant in a tier 2 tournament, I mean, that's impressive to me, man, considering how bad they were looking before. And to glaze plays them a little bit further. I have 3 teams. I'll probably make an entire other video on this, but I have 3 total teams that I really like to kind of break out this season and move up the VRS rankings quite a bit. And one of them is, of course, Faze. It feels like a obvious answer, but when I originally posted the short where I said this, it was also when they were down 0-2 at XSE Pro League, so we bought the dip, basically. And I mean, like a lot of these reasons are, we already went over how they did what I wanted them to do, but along with that, I think when looking at Twist, specifically as an IGL, right, the 2 main reasons people were so disappointed with this Faze rebuild at the start was they didn't like Twist IGL, and they didn't like Jay Boner, because honestly, it's just because they had never heard of him before. There couldn't have been any other reason. I was so annoyed by the discourse on this whole rebuild. I talked about it on my stream. The Faze, Netanyahu, and Joe Biden discourse has angered me drastically. 90% of motherfuckers that watch Counter-Strike don't have a goddamn clue what they're talking about. Faze management does not deserve the org, because what the fuck are these tier 2 moves? Faze gotta be trolling. This org is fucked. I just don't understand. A majority of people that are crying about this move are chopped. I hate to be that guy. What does Faze need to add to their team? A young AWPer with potential and an actual anchor. This is what this team has needed for months. And they add an anchor prospect and a young AWPer. And people are losing it, bro. Nobody actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. But anyways, Twist IGL, he may have been a little overhated. Now, his actual calls in the server, right? I don't think were good while he was IGLing Liquid. But when you look at the context, the last major finals Team Liquid had ever made was with Twist IGL at Shanghai. And the team he did this with was NAF, and at the time washed Yakinder, and at the time absolutely washed JKS and Ultimate. And Twist was the IGL. So it's not necessarily me saying I think Twist is an extraordinary IGL. But what I do think is him being the IGL might not be the worst thing in the world. Because if he can continue to put up these numbers while opening up bomb sites, I think if his calling is a little lacking, that's okay. Maybe they're not going to be the most consistent team in the world, you know, Prime Vitality winning every tournament. But I do think this is a Counter-Strike team that can compete with Twist at the helm as the leader. And that's not even accounting for the fact that transitioning into an IGL is a hard process that takes a lot of time. Apex didn't become a great IGL overnight either, right? And so Twist absolutely can develop that side of his game and get better with time. And when, you know, that eventually happens, I guess if that eventually happens, I truly think FaZe are going to be in a pretty good spot. And it still feels so weird for me to be the one saying that, man. Oh my god. Yeah, then you also have like Frozen, who quite literally is one of the best riflers in the world. That is an insane piece to just have sitting on a rebuilding team. Netanyahu, like I said, I do like. There are some other anchor prospects I may have liked more, but I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt and give him some more time on this team before I fully come to a conclusion. But so far, signs are good. And of course, Jay Boner. The only main concern I have with Jay Boner is Ultimate started very hot when he joined Liquid and then, you know, became Ultimate. So you don't want to crown him too early, and we haven't seen him at a tier 1 tournament yet either. So am I crowning him too early? Yes, but I will pump the brakes a little bit. But same thing as I said with Netanyahu, right? Netanyahu and Joe Biden, the early signs are looking very promising in my opinion. And another point that I brought up earlier in the video, along with all of these moves that I have liked, the addition of Cash into the game might genuinely be game changing for this FaZe roster. At the time of me recording this, they have played it twice. And guess what? They've beaten Eyeballers 13-3 and BetBoom 13-2. And you might be saying Eyeballers. They have washed JW, washed Crims. Why would I care about that? First of all, respect the greats. Second of all, BetBoom came into this tournament as a top 10 ranked team in the world. FaZe beat them 13-2 and 13-6. And I get that their roster is different now than it was at the major. And they're going through their, you know, own problems at this point. Very weird stuff going on with the roster. But I mean, they're a top 10 ranked team. I don't give a fuck, man. They just blew out. Even if they aren't actually top 10 anymore, at least top 20. They just blew out a top 20 team in the world. FaZe potentially goated. Department calling. FaZe might be goated. And you, like, quite literally at this point, the only thing FaZe need to do is get rid of Jacob. I'm sorry, someone had to say it. I'm the only one saying it. No one else on the earth has ever considered removing Jacob before, so really happy to be the first person to ever think of this. But as soon as they get a better replacement for Jacob, this team could go nuclear. Even a Lawn X replacement at the end of the year, I wouldn't really mind. I don't think Lawn X is like a transcendent type player, but I mean, I do think he would perform better on this team than Jacob is. A lot of options out there as well, though. A lot of very good young rifling talent they can go for, or experienced ones. They can slap their dick on the table and maybe buy out a player. I don't know if they got the bread like that, but as soon as that move does happen, I really do think this Faze is going to be a consensus top 10 team and competing at every single tournament, which as much as I've disliked them, as much as me and Faze have gone from this enemies to lovers type arc, it'll be nice to see them back, okay? Tier 1 tournaments aren't the same without a Faze logo there doing some bullshit. So, yeah. Guys, I know you might be a little scared right now. You've never seen a Garmour demo review before. And this isn't even a demo. I'm just watching the official stream. But like another thing that I do want to say about Jay Boner is what I love in oppers is players who are going to go for something egregious, right? An opening pick every single round if they can. It is being a hyper aggressive player overall. And this isn't an op, but I love how Jay Boner literally just runs through Squeaky here into the entire team. And with a pistol, which is something you also want to be good at, you know, besides an op, he runs in here, Frozen dies, but he gets away with 3 fucking kills here. That is phenomenal, right? To be able to have a hyper-aggressive player who can run in and get 3 kills like that, it's very, very valuable. Also, I do gotta say, what I was talking about earlier with Netanyahu showing flashes, being good in the clutch, even though he's a anchor support player, this is what I'm talking about. This is a 1v3 on the first gun v gun round of the game. Now, they just gave him 1v1s because, I don't know, maybe they thought Netanyahu was a chud. But he put them in their place with this round. And, like, these are the types of plays you want to see from your anchor support player because so often they are going to be retaking bomb sites. And then being able to fucking 1v3 like this is so, so good. More Netanyahu glaze, by the way. Insane fucking shots. Sitting on the bomb site, 10-2, and still gets 2 as they come into the bomb site. His aim is crisp, man. I'm just gonna keep glazing these 2 new players. Now, the one thing I will say about Jay Boner is, while I do like how aggressive he is, it is definitely a double-edged sword. Here on this round, great call to take a main from BetBoom. Jay Boner gets the pick on Siren, trying to retake the space. And then here he gets another pick on the mid player in Zorte. But right here, I get he's feeling it. He just got 2 kills. A lot of times when I have watched Jay Bone play on Faze, he is hyper aggressive and repeaks a lot. This is one of those instances where, like, I get you get a kill. Listen, I get it's a 2v5. In professional play, 2v5s can be lost if you misplay at all. These players are all so good. I would prefer for him, after getting that pick, maybe just like jumping back around default over the corner so he can see if there's anyone else mid. Just get that info and reposition, hold a more passive angle. You're in a 5v2, right? But I do get he is feeling it. He was feeling hot during this moment. He wants the kill, and well, he gets punished for it. So I do think there is still a lot of development for Jay Bone, and I do think against tier 1 teams, he might get punished for this quite a bit more. He's just, you know, now playing in Faze. He has a lot of time to grow. I want him to still be hyper aggressive at points, but also just kind of know when to pull back a little bit. And obviously, that's a lot harder to do when you are playing and a lot easier to bring up when you are just watching. But if they're doing demo reviews, hopefully they will have already told him this. And one thing I do also want to add from what I was talking about earlier, it is still Jacob a lot of the time being the one to go in first for Faze, but there are still quite a few rounds where Twist is the one going in as well. And I think that's just kind of what I wanted to see more of. You know, you might have thought, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Obviously, I know Jacob is still being sent in first a lot of the times. But like on this round here, after J-Bone gets an opening pick, Twist just runs through a smoke and then takes the rest of the bomb site literally by himself. And this is stuff that I feel like Twist has always been able to do. He has the aim of like an entry type player where he can go in and just literally take a bomb site by himself. And so I like how in this round we're seeing more of that. But obviously he isn't like the only entry. It is still him and Jacob kind of splitting the duties. Also, I do want to also point this out. Here are Twist entering and opening numbers at this tournament. While having the utility numbers of 86, a lot of times he is still sitting back and throwing utility, but when he isn't, he is also going in first. And then here are Jacob's numbers for entering and opening. So it does look like Twist at this point is doing it more. So yeah, I just honestly really like Twist in these new roles. Here's the last round of the game as well, if you want to see. Twist is number 8 on the minimap. And you can see Jacob is right behind him, and Twist number 8 just kind of plowing into the bomb site. Look at Buddy go. I mean, what a guy. He's got the aim of an entry, man. But yeah, overall, I kind of felt like glazing the fellas today. I am incredibly excited to see what they do more in this season. And if I like what I see, I will continue to glaze the fellas, okay? You might not believe it, but it's gonna be happening. But yeah, that's it for me today, fellas. Liking the video if you liked, subscribing if you want to subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to be notified, and I will see you guys next time.